I remember the sound before the silence. Tires screeching, glass breaking, Emily screaming my name, then nothing but black. When I woke up, there was only a voice, soft, familiar. Ethan? Can you hear me? Emily? My throat burned. Why? Why is it so dark? Her fingers gripped mine. You're in the hospital. You were in an accident, but you're okay. I tried to open my eyes.
The lights?
Are they off? There was a pause, too long. They're on, Ethan, she whispered. Something inside me cracked. Emily, I can't see. She started crying. I felt her tears drop on my hand. The doctor said your eyes were hurt. But they'll fix it, I promise. You just need to rest. I didn't believe her, but I couldn't tell her that. I needed her to sound strong because I wasn't. Ryan visited the next morning. I heard his usual grin in his voice. Hey man, look who made it. You scared the hell out of us. Guess I ruined your weekend, I said, forcing a laugh. Forget the weekend. You're alive, that's what matters. Yeah, I said quietly. Alive. Emily's footsteps shuffled near the door. I'll grab coffee. You two talk. When she left, Ryan sighed. She hasn't left this place for 3 days. She really loves you, man. I smiled in the dark. She's always been good to me. He patted my shoulder. She's a keeper. Don't screw that up, I wanted to say. I can't even see her anymore, but I stayed quiet. Days turned into weeks. The doctor said I might not recover. Emily said they were wrong. She stayed beside me, talking about everything, her job, our wedding plans, the weather. I pretended to listen, but half the time I was listening to how she spoke, not what she said. One night, I woke up to the sound of her whispering. Ryan. Not now, he's asleep, I froze. My heart hammered. Then Ryan's voice, lower, closer than I wanted it to be. He can't hear us. I can't keep doing this, she said softly. I feel guilty. You're helping him, Ryan said. He needs both of us. The silence after that stretched too long. I could hear her breathing change. I turned slightly, pretending to stir. The room went quiet, babe, I said weakly. You hear? She answered instantly, too quickly. Yes, I was just checking your water. I smiled in her direction. You always take care of me, her voice trembled. Of course I do. Ryan slipped out without saying goodbye. His shoes barely made a sound, but I knew it was him. The next morning I asked, Emily, did Ryan visit last night? She hesitated. No, why? I thought I heard him. She laughed too lightly. You must have been dreaming. I nodded, pretending to accept it. Yeah, maybe I was, but I wasn't dreaming. I could still hear her whispering his name. A week later, the doctor came in.
Ethan, how are we feeling today?
I can't see, doctor. How do you think I feel? He chuckled softly. I mean physically. You're healing fast. That's a good sign. Does that mean my sight could come back? There's a chance, he said carefully. We'll need to discuss surgery later. When he left, Emily exhaled sharply. Surgery sounds risky. Maybe we should wait. Wait? I asked. You told me to have faith. I just don't want you to get hurt again. Her tone was gentle, but something in it made me uneasy. Emily, are you scared for me or for yourself? She flinched. That's not fair. I'm sorry, I said quickly. I hate feeling like a burden. You're not, she whispered. You never were. Then she kissed my forehead, but even her lips felt distant, like she was somewhere else entirely. Ryan started visiting more often. Sometimes when I woke up, I'd hear his cologne before his voice. Morning, champ, he'd say cheerfully. Brought breakfast. You're too nice to me, I'd joke. Hey, it's what friends do. One day I asked, Ryan, what does Emily look like today? He laughed. Still gorgeous, why? I just like imagining her smile. There was a silence before he said, yeah, it's beautiful. He sounded almost sad when he said it. Or maybe I was imagining that too. That night, Emily held my hand. Do you ever regret saving that child? Her question surprised me. What? The night of the accident. You swerved to avoid that boy. I'd do it again, I said instantly. Why? She hesitated. Because it cost you everything. I smiled faintly. If losing my sight saved a life, then maybe it's worth it. She didn't answer. I felt her pull away just slightly. Emily, I said, my voice low. If I never see again, will you still love me? She gasped softly. Don't say that. I need to hear it. I'll always love you, she whispered. but something in the way she said always made it sound like a lie. That night, I couldn't sleep. The hospital's machines beeped softly, and I counted each one like seconds in a clock. Somewhere between the steady rhythm of my heartbeat and the hum of the air conditioner, I heard her phone buzz. She slipped out of bed. "Ryan, stop calling," she hissed. Someone could hear. Her voice faded down the hall. I lay there in silence, my hand resting on the empty side of the bed. When she came back, I pretended to wake. "Everything okay?" "Just a work call," she said quickly. I smiled faintly. "At 2 a.m.? She froze. "You couldn't have known that." "You can't see the clock?" "No," I said softly. "But I can count time." She didn't respond. I heard her sit down, shifting nervously. I reached for her hand. "Emily promised me something." "What?" "If I never get better, don't stay because you feel sorry for me." She squeezed my hand too tight. "Don't talk like that. You'll see again. I swear." I turned my face toward her voice. "You sound scared." "I'm just tired," she whispered. I didn't press her. I just lay there, listening to her breathing slow, but as I stared into the darkness, that whisper returned, clearer this time, crueler. Something isn't right. And for the first time, I believed it. The nurse's footsteps were softer than most. I could always tell when it was her. "Good morning, Mr. Cole," she said. Her voice carried calm. "How are we today?" "I'm fine, Sophie." "You don't have to call me Mr. Cole. Makes me sound older than I am." She laughed lightly. "Then Ethan it is. Slept well?" "Not really. I heard whispers again last night." She paused. "Whispers?" "Yeah. Emily and Ryan were in the kitchen. I could hear their voices. I just didn't want to listen." Sophie adjusted my blanket. "Sometimes the mind plays tricks when it's dark." "I wish it was my mind," I murmured. "But I know Ryan's laugh. I could pick it out of a crowd." She hesitated, then said softly, "Sometimes people show their true faces when they think you can't see them." Her words hit harder than I expected. "You sound like you know that from experience." "I do," she said quietly. "Blindness doesn't just hide the world, it reveals it." I didn't answer. I just listened to the sound of her leaving. Later that day, Emily walked in. Her perfume hit before her voice did. Sweet, expensive, familiar. "Hey, love," she said gently. "You're awake." "Yeah, been awake for hours." "Where were you?" "Just grabbing lunch with Ryan. He insisted." My chest tightened. "You two have been spending a lot of time together." She froze. "He's your best friend, Ethan. He cares about you." "I know. I just didn't realize he cared that much." She forced a laugh. "Are you jealous?" "Should I be?" Her voice softened. "Don't do this. You've been through enough. I'm not doing anything. I'm just asking where I fit now." "You fit right where you always have," she said. "Next to me." She kissed my cheek, but it felt practiced, like a routine, not a feeling. That night, I tried to sleep. But Sophie's words replayed in my mind. People show their true faces when they think you can't see them. I started paying attention differently. Every footstep, every breath, every sigh. Emily's heels clicked faster lately. Ryan's voice carried a nervous edge. Around midnight, I heard them again, softer this time. "Ryan, stop pacing," Emily whispered. "I can't help it," he said. "What if he finds out?" "He won't," she hissed. "He trusts us." I froze, gripping the sheets. Ryan exhaled. "You're sure the surgery's not possible?" "He thinks it's risky," she replied quickly. "He won't do it." "That's good," Ryan said. "We can't risk." The door creaked. Their voices stopped. I turned toward the sound and said quietly, "Emily?" Her tone jumped. "You're awake?" "Yeah," I said slowly. "I thought I heard something." "Just Ryan dropping something in the kitchen," she said too fast. Ryan cleared his throat. "Sorry, man." "Clumsy hands," I smiled faintly. "You've always been like that." Emily walked closer. "Do you need water?" "No, I'm good." Just wanted to make sure I wasn't hearing things. Her voice softened. "You need rest." "Don't let your imagination run wild." "Right," I said. "My imagination." The next morning, Sophie returned. "You look tense," she said. "I heard them again," I told her. "They were whispering about me?" "What did they say?" "I don't know exactly, but they sounded guilty." Sophie set something on my tray. "Oatmeal. And maybe some honesty," I chuckled weakly.
What do you mean?
She sat beside me. You're afraid to believe what you already know. I swallowed hard. That they're lying to me? Maybe. Or maybe you're afraid of what comes after knowing. I let out a breath. You sound like a therapist, she smiled. Comes with the job. That afternoon, Emily came in again. Her voice was cheerful. Too cheerful. Guess what, she said. Ryan's helping me plan your homecoming party. Homecoming party? Yes, you're finally coming home after weeks here. It'll be nice to celebrate. With him? I asked. He's your best friend, Ethan. Don't make this complicated. I'm not trying to. It just feels strange. What feels strange? The way you say his name. Her breath hitched. You're imagining things. Maybe, I said softly. But maybe not, she sighed. I know this isn't easy for you, but please don't turn it into something ugly. I'm not, I said. I'm just trying to understand what's real. She didn't reply. The air felt colder. That night, I decided to stay awake. I lay still, breathing slow, pretending to sleep. At first, there was silence. Then quiet footsteps. 2 sets. Ryan's whisper broke it. He's asleep? Emily answered. Yes. Keep your voice down. I hate sneaking around like this, he said. You're the one who started it, she hissed. You didn't exactly stop me. Ryan, please, no, he said sharply. You said you love me. Do you still mean it? My heart froze, Emily whispered. Of course I do. Just not here. Then when? He demanded. Soon. I just need time. Time for what? To break him completely? Her voice cracked. Don't say that. I'm serious, Ryan said. He's blind, not stupid. What if he figures it out? He won't, she said quickly. He believes every word I say. I clenched my fists under the blanket. Every word burned. Ryan laughed softly. You're good at pretending. So are you, she whispered. There was a sound, a kiss, quick and quiet. I wanted to scream, but I didn't. I just listened. Then Ryan said something that turned my blood cold. Good night, baby, Emily giggled softly. Good night. Their footsteps faded down the hall. I lay there alone in the dark, my pulse pounding in my ears. Sophie was right. Blindness doesn't hide the world, it reveals it. I used to think silence was peaceful. Now it felt like punishment. The room was quiet except for the steady ticking of the wall clock and my own heartbeat. I sat in my chair facing the window I couldn't see. I heard the door creak open. Emily's voice drifted in. Ryan closed the door. My chest tightened instantly. He sighed. You sure he's asleep? Yes, she whispered. He took his meds an hour ago. I kept my eyes shut and slowed my breathing. Ryan spoke again. You shouldn't keep coming here so late. Someone might see. I had to. I can't keep pretending anymore. My throat burned. Pretending? Ryan asked quietly. That I love him, she said. The words stabbed clean through me. Ryan hesitated. Emily, no, listen, she said, voice trembling. I feel trapped, Ryan. I've been living with a ghost. He doesn't see me. He doesn't see anything. I can't do it anymore, he muttered. You make it sound like it's his fault. I know it's not, she whispered. But I can't love someone who reminds me of guilt every time he breathes. Guilt? Ryan asked. Because he's broken, and I'm not, she said softly. Because part of me wishes he hadn't survived that night. I bit my tongue to stop myself from gasping. Ryan stepped closer. I could hear the floor creak beneath his shoes. You don't mean that. I do, she whispered. You think I don't hate myself for it? But when I'm with you, it feels real again, he exhaled sharply. Emily, she interrupted him. Say it. Say what? That you love me. He went quiet. Then, softly, I love you. I wanted to scream, but I couldn't move. Emily's voice broke. God, I needed to hear that. I heard fabric rustle, footsteps, and then the unmistakable sound of a kiss. Every breath I took felt heavier, poisoned. She whispered between kisses. We can't keep hiding. Then what do we do? Ryan asked. I'll tell him soon. I have to. Emily, no, it's cruel to keep lying. He deserves the truth, Ryan hesitated. You think he'll forgive you? He'll hate me, she said. But maybe that's what I deserve. Then when? Soon, just let me find the right moment. I felt my nails digging into my palms, Ryan whispered. You're shaking. I know. He said, you're scared. Of losing everything, she replied. Of being seen for what I am. He touched her hand. I could hear it, the faint brush of skin. You're not a bad person. I'm a coward, she said. He still says my name like I'm the only thing holding him together. And all I want is to run to you, Ryan whispered. Then do it, she sniffed. Not yet, he sighed. You're killing me, you know that? I'm killing myself too, she said. He let out a small laugh. Some love story we've written. Don't joke, she whispered. Please. The silence that followed was worse than the words. Then softly she said, I have to go. Tomorrow? He asked. Yes, tomorrow night. The door creaked. Ryan said, Good night, Em. She paused. Good night. When the door clicked shut, I finally opened my eyes, pointlessly. The darkness was the same. I sat there for a long time, hearing nothing but the clock and my pulse. I thought of every moment we'd shared, her hand guiding me, her laughter, her whispered promises that I'd never be alone. All of it was a lie. I wanted to cry, but no tears came. My eyes didn't work. Maybe my heart didn't either. It wasn't love that died that night. It was trust. For the first time since the accident, I felt truly blind. Not because I couldn't see, but because I hadn't wanted to. The door opened again. Softer this time, Ethan? It was Sophie. I cleared my throat. Yeah, you're awake? Couldn't sleep, I said. The walls talk too much. She paused. What do they say? Everything I don't want to hear, she set a hand on my arm. You look tired. I'm fine, I lied. You're not. I forced a laugh. You're a terrible nurse. I'm a good listener, she said. Then listen to this, I whispered. What if someone you love turns into a stranger overnight? Sophie didn't answer right away. Then maybe they weren't who you thought they were. That's cruel. It's truth, she said gently. And sometimes truth is cruel. I turned toward her voice. You ever been betrayed, Sophie? Yes, she said softly. But I survived it. How? By not letting it turn me into them. Her words sank deep. That's harder than you make it sound. I didn't say it was easy, she said. I said it was worth it. I nodded slowly. You might be the only person here who doesn't lie. Then let me tell you one more truth, she said. You still have choices, Ethan. Like what? Like how you want to see the world when you can't use your eyes. I almost laughed at the irony. Yeah, that's a cruel joke too. No, she said softly. That's life reminding you that darkness can't blind you forever. Later that evening, the doctor walked in. Ethan, he said. I have news, I forced my voice steady. Good or bad? Depends how you take it. We've reviewed your scans. There's a procedure that could restore part of your sight. I froze. You mean I could see again? There's risk, he warned. But it's possible, I nodded slowly. When? As soon as you're ready. I'll do it, I said instantly. He smiled faintly. Then we'll begin preparations. Don't tell anyone, I said. He hesitated. Not even Miss Hayes? Especially not her. He nodded quietly and left. When the door closed, I leaned back in my chair. They thought I was blind. Maybe I was, but not for much longer. The first light I saw in months wasn't sunlight. It was the faint red glow of the surgeon's pen marking my bandages. When the doctor removed them days later, my breath caught. Blurry shapes sharpened into outlines, light broke into color, and for the first time since the crash, I saw. But I didn't tell anyone. Not Emily, not Ryan, only Sophie knew. She stood by my bedside when the doctor left. You can really see me? I nodded. Every line on your face. Her smile was soft. Then why hide it? Because truth deserves timing, I said quietly. And they don't deserve the truth yet. She frowned.
You're going to pretend?
I've been pretending all along, I said. What's a few more weeks? When Emily came in later that evening, I put the glasses back on and turned toward her voice. Hey, she said gently. How are you feeling? I smiled faintly. Still the same darkness. Her hand touched mine. You're healing, though. That's what matters, is it? I asked. Of course, she said quickly. You'll get better. One step at a time. Her words tasted like ash. I wanted to look at her, the woman who once swore she'd never lie to me, but I just nodded. Ryan's voice entered from the door. How's our hero doing? I kept my face neutral. Still blind, still breathing, he chuckled. That's progress, Emily laughed softly. You always know how to make him smile. Someone has to, Ryan said. Their laughter was a language I now understood too well. That night, when they thought I was asleep, I watched. Emily leaned against the kitchen counter, Ryan's hand resting lightly on her back. She looked radiant, guilty, and unashamed, all at once. He whispered something. She smiled. Then they kissed. I memorized every movement. Every lie. When she came back to my room, her voice was soft. You okay? Yeah, I said. Just tired. She sat beside me, her perfume wrapping around the air like poison disguised as flowers. I'll be here when you wake up, she said. I forced a small smile. I know. Her hand brushed my cheek, gentle, practiced. You're strong, Ethan, strong. She had no idea. Days turned into weeks. I learned how to move through the house again, slowly, carefully, pretending to count my steps, pretending to stumble. Every time I heard her sigh or felt Ryan's voice linger too long, I counted one more lie. Do you need water? She'd ask. Please. I'd listen to her footsteps fade, the faint creak of the cabinet, the whisper of her texting when she thought I couldn't tell. One night, she forgot to mute her phone. I caught the vibration. Ryan's name lit up the screen. I turned my head slightly. Who's that? Oh, just work, she said too fast. Work calls at midnight now? She froze. You heard that? I hear everything, I said softly. Her laugh cracked slightly. You're scary sometimes. You have no idea, I whispered as she turned away. Sophie came by the next morning. You're quiet today, she said, pulling up a chair. I'm studying, I replied. What? Human nature, she raised an eyebrow. Dangerous subject. I need to know how far they'll go, I said. How deep the lie runs. You could confront them. Not yet. Why? Because if I move too early, I lose everything, Sophie sighed. You're starting to sound like someone planning a war. I smiled faintly. Maybe I am. She became my accomplice without asking for the role. We started with the basics, my accounts, passwords, finances. I want every joint account closed, I said. Quietly? She asked. Completely, I replied. And your personal savings? I'll move them, I said. Somewhere she can't touch. Sophie tapped her pen against the clipboard. You really don't trust her anymore, do you? I trust her perfectly, I said. To betray me again, she nodded slowly. You're not the man you were when I met you. I'm not blind anymore, I said. By the third week, my sight was nearly perfect. I still wore the dark glasses. They made it easier to hide the hate in my eyes. Every glance at Emily and Ryan together was another lesson in performance. They laughed, cooked, whispered, lived as if my world still ended at the edge of the bed. I memorized every lie, every secret touch. Sometimes Emily would say, You look like you're staring at something, and I'd smile. Just the sound of your voice. She'd laugh, relieved. I'd laugh too, quietly, at how easy deceit could be. Sophie warned me once. You're walking a dangerous line. I know, I said. But I need to see how far they'll fall. And what happens when they do? Then I decide whether to catch them or let them break. You sound like a man who already chose. Maybe, I said. Maybe I just want them to believe they're safe first, she sighed. Just don't lose yourself in this. I already did, I whispered. Now I'm just collecting the pieces. I spent nights watching from behind the glasses, pretending to be asleep. Emily's laughter drifted through the halls. Ryan's footsteps followed. One evening, I heard them in the garden. I hate lying to him, Emily said. Ryan answered, Then stop. I can't, she said. He's still blind, Ryan chuckled. So what? He'll never know, she hesitated. It feels wrong. It's not wrong if no one gets hurt, he said. I clenched my fists. Sophie's voice echoed in my memory. Sometimes people show their true faces when they think you can't see them. Now I saw everything. Later, Sophie brought me coffee. You look different, she said. I feel different, I replied. Because you can see? Because I can plan, she studied me. What are you going to do? Prepare, I said simply. For what? For justice, she leaned closer. Revenge isn't the same as justice. Maybe not, I said quietly, but sometimes it's the only thing that feels fair. That night I stood by the mirror, watching my reflection, the man they thought was broken. I was blind, I whispered to it. But now I see. I slipped on the glasses again, let them think I was still lost, because the truth was simple. The hunter they made was finally awake. I woke up the next morning with a smile that wasn't real. The mirror reflected a man who had learned to lie better than his betrayers. Let's begin, I whispered to myself when Emily walked in with breakfast. I leaned back in the chair and kept my glasses on. Morning, she said softly. You're up early. I didn't sleep much, I said. Had a lot on my mind. Thinking about the surgery? I nodded slowly. And about you. Me? You've been so loyal, I said, letting the word linger. I don't know what I'd do without you. She froze for half a second. Just long enough for me to see guilt flicker. Behind her smile, I'm just doing what anyone would, she said quickly. Not everyone would, I replied. Most people run when things get hard. Her eyes darted away. You don't mean that. I do, I said, forcing a soft laugh. You stayed. She smiled again, tighter this time. Of course I did. Ryan showed up later carrying coffee. Hey, buddy, he said. You look better. I turned my face toward his voice. It's your energy. You always make the room brighter, he laughed awkwardly. Trying to keep you positive. You've been here every day, I said. That means a lot, he shrugged. That's what friends are for. Yeah, I said quietly. Friends, he shifted in his seat. You sound strange, do I? Like you're testing me. Would I ever do that? He smiled nervously. Guess not. I leaned forward slightly. I trust you, Ryan, more than anyone. He looked down. You shouldn't, I mess up too. Not with Emily, I hope, I said casually. His head snapped up. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing, I said, smiling. Just a joke. He forced a laugh, but it cracked halfway through. By evening, I called Sophie to my room. She looked at me suspiciously. What are you planning now? Something small, I said. Just a seed. Ethan, relax, no one gets hurt. She crossed her arms. That's what people say before someone does. I grinned. You're starting to sound like my conscience. Someone has to, she said. You look different, harder. I'm focused, I said. That's all. Focused on what? Balance, I replied. They tipped the scale. I'm just setting it right, she sighed. You're enjoying this? Shouldn't I? I asked. They lied to my face. Every smile, every word. They built it on my blindness. And now you're lying to theirs. Exactly, I said. The perfect lie for the perfect couple. The next day I called Mark, a mutual friend. Hey, he said. Long time. Yeah, I replied. Listen, I need a favor. Name it. I want you to mention to Emily that the doctor said my eyes might be improving, I said. Just casually, he hesitated. That true? Doesn't matter, I said. Just say it, he laughed. You've got a plan, huh? Something like that. By afternoon, the rumor had spread. Emily came home early, carrying flowers. Roses? I asked, pretending surprise. She laughed nervously. I just wanted to brighten your day? You already did, I said. Her smile faltered. So, I heard something. Oh? Mark said the doctors might try another surgery soon. Did he? She nodded quickly. Is that true? I tilted my head. Would it make you happy if it was? She swallowed. Of course. Then yes, I said. Maybe soon I'll see your face again. She forced a laugh. That's wonderful, isn't it? I asked. Her hands trembled slightly as she poured tea. You sound different. Maybe I'm just hopeful. Hope looks good on you, she said, though her eyes were full of fear. Later that night, I heard her pacing in the living room. Ryan's voice came through the thin walls. He knows? No, she whispered. But what if he's getting his sight back? He's not, Ryan said quickly. He would have told us, unless he's lying, Ryan laughed. Ethan can't lie. He's too honest. I smiled in the dark. Emily sighed. He thanked me today. Said I was loyal, Ryan snorted. He's blind, not stupid. Maybe he suspects, and then what do we do? Nothing, Ryan said. If he sees again, we'll know soon enough. Their voices faded. I stayed still, heart steady, mind sharp. The next morning, Sophie entered with her clipboard. You look pleased with yourself. Just observing results, I said. Results? Their faces, I said. They're cracking, she frowned. Ethan, this isn't a game. It is, I said quietly. I just finally learned the rules. You think control will heal you? No, I said. But it'll keep me from breaking again. She sat down. Be careful. Revenge changes people. It already has, I said. Then stop before you lose the rest of yourself. I can't, I said. This is who I am now. No, she said softly. It's who they made you. I didn't answer. That night, Emily brought dinner. You've been quiet lately, she said. Just tired. From what? Thinking. About truth, I said. And how people hide it. She set the tray down carefully. You're scaring me. Why? Because you sound like you see things I can't. I smiled faintly. Maybe I do. Her lips trembled. What does that mean? Nothing, I said. Just talking. She reached for my hand. You trust me, right? With my life, I said smoothly. Her hand tightened around mine. Good. I waited until she left before whispering, bad. Later, I called Sophie again. I can feel it, I said. They're scared. That's not victory, she said. That's poison. Maybe poison is what keeps me alive, I said quietly. Don't say that. It's true. I'm not the same man who lost everything. No, she said. You're the man learning how to lose himself. I exhaled slowly. Then maybe that's the price of seeing clearly. She didn't answer. I lay in bed that night, listening to the faint rhythm of two guilty hearts beating down the hall. Control wasn't peace. It was survival, and survival was the only truth left to me. The candles made the room look softer than it felt. Dinner's ready, I said, keeping my voice steady. Emily laughed. You went all out. Only for you, I said, and poured the wine. She set the napkins. Ryan sat opposite, hands folded. You look great, Ryan said. Thanks, I replied. You too. We ate mostly in silence. The clink of cutlery sounded loud. So how do you feel? Emily asked. Better, I said. More hopeful, she smiled. That's wonderful. I watched their faces instead of food. You've been different lately, Ryan said. Thoughts? Just thinking about getting better, I answered. Thinking about the future. Our wedding, I finished for her, and her smile faltered. We'll get there, she said quickly. When you're back to normal. Back to normal, I echoed. Ryan cleared his throat. You can do it. We're behind you. Thanks, I said. After dinner, I left candles burning. The shadows softened their smiles. You sure you're okay with the dark? Emily asked. Yeah, I lied. It's calming. She reached across and took my hand. When they thought I was blind, they spoke freely. That was my chance. I have something to show you, I said. Emily's breath hitched. What? A little thank you for taking care of me, I said. Ryan laughed. You're full of surprises. I pushed a button on a device. A screen blinked to life. Their faces turned pale in reflected light. What is that? Emily asked. It's footage, I said. From the last few weeks. What footage? Ryan demanded. Ethan, what are you doing? You should have known darkness didn't make you invisible, I said, standing slowly. Emily's hand flew to her mouth. Ethan, watch, I said. I hit play. The room filled with her laugh in the kitchen. Ryan's low chuckle followed. Oh my God, Emily whispered. Where did you get that? Security cameras, I said. I put them up after the surgery. You had cameras? What the hell, Ethan? I had cameras so I could know the truth, I said. Truth is useful. He's sick, Ryan muttered. This is messed up. You recorded us? Emily demanded. How could you? You recorded us lying, I replied. Lying about late nights, calls, everything. We never, Ryan started. You kissed her in the kitchen, I said, and thumbed the remote. The screen showed the movement, blurred but clear. Emily's hand shook. I didn't mean not meant, I repeated. You meant to hide it, the footage rolled. Messages played, soft words meant for each other. You think this proves it? Ryan said, wild now. It's edited. You could have. I have originals, I said. Raw footage. Call logs, texts. Why are you doing this? Emily cried. We can explain. Explain what? I asked. That you loved him when you should have loved me? That you found comfort while I was dying? She sobbed. It started because you were gone. So you left me, I cut in. You left me when I needed you most. Ryan stepped forward. Ethan, calm down. You can't say things like that. I can, I said. I watched you build a world without me. Emily dropped her glass. It shattered across the floor like a confession. Please, she pleaded. Please don't make this worse. This is worse, I said. You broke me. You deserve better than this, Ryan said. We didn't plan. You didn't plan? That makes it better? I asked. You think an accident gives you an excuse? Emily crawled to her knees and clutched my hand. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I pulled my hand away. Get up, both of you. Get out. She looked up like a wounded animal. Ethan, please leave, I said. Before I do something I'll regret. Ryan froze. What will you do? Leave, I repeated. They moved toward the door as if propelled by shame. At the threshold, Emily turned once. I love you, she said, voice broken. I didn't answer. I watched them go, the door closing softly behind them. When the house was quiet, Sophie texted, Are you okay? I typed back, I saw everything. I put the glasses back on and sat alone in the candlelight, glass pieces glittering at my feet like small stars of ruin. The trap had closed. The silence after it felt heavier than any darkness I'd known. My phone buzzed. It was Ryan, Ethan. Please, he said. You heard everything, I said. I never meant to hurt you. Actions hurt, I replied. Tell me what I can do. Leave, I said. Will you press charges? He asked. I don't need to, I said. Truth travels, he sighed. I'm sorry. Too late, I said. He hung up. Sophie came in after, breathing. You did it, she said. Yes, I replied. They left. She sat and looked at me. Do you feel better? No, I said. Different, sharper, angry. That's not the same as peace. I know, I said. But it is honest. She reached and squeezed my hand. Then don't let the honesty become hatred. I won't, I promised, though a part of me already had plans I didn't name aloud yet. Sophie stirred her coffee slowly, watching the swirl of cream dissolve into black. You look different these days, she said. How so? I asked, keeping my eyes on the window. Lighter, freer, like someone who's stopped bleeding. Maybe, I said. Or maybe I just got used to the wound. She frowned. That's not healing, Ethan. I didn't say it was. Silence settled between us, heavy but familiar. The cafe buzzed quietly with chatter and clinking cups. It had been months since that dinner, the night everything broke open. I hadn't spoken to Emily or Ryan since. I didn't need to. The world handled them for me, did you hear? Sophie asked softly. I heard, I said. Ryan's company let him go. They said it was performance issues, but everyone knows why, I finished. It's hard to lead when everyone's whispering about what kind of man you are. And Emily? I exhaled. Her family cut her off. They didn't even show up to her sister's wedding. Too ashamed. Sophie stirred her coffee again. Do you feel anything about that? I used to think I would, I said. Anger, satisfaction, maybe closure. And now? Now it just feels empty. Like I'm standing in the ashes of something I didn't mean to burn. She reached across the table, her hand brushing mine. You didn't burn it, Ethan. They did. Maybe, I said. But I lit the match that showed everyone the fire. She smiled faintly. That's poetic. And dangerous. I don't feel dangerous, I said. Just awake. Sophie tilted her head. You ever think about forgiving them? I laughed quietly. Forgiveness isn't for them. It's for people who still care. And you don't? I don't know, I admitted. Some nights I dream about her voice. The way she said my name before everything went black. And then I wake up and I feel nothing but the weight of how easily she lied. Sophie looked at me like she wanted to say something but didn't. What? I asked. You still love her, she said softly. Maybe a part of me does, I said. But that part's buried under everything else, she nodded. Then let it stay buried. I try, I said. But the past doesn't stay dead. It shows up in cafes and memories. Sophie smiled faintly. Speaking of cafes, why this one? I used to come here with her, I said. She liked the cinnamon coffee. You think you'll see her again? I shrugged. Maybe. Life's funny like that. A shadow passed the window. A familiar outline. My stomach turned before my mind caught up. Emily. Her hair was shorter, her face thinner. She walked slowly, like every step carried regret. Sophie followed my gaze. Do you want to leave? No, I said. Let's see what karma looks like up close. Emily didn't see me at first. She stood at the counter, fumbling for her wallet, her hands trembling. The barista spoke softly, probably out of pity. When she turned around, her eyes found mine. Time didn't stop. It just got quiet. She froze, lips parting slightly. I saw recognition flicker, followed by guilt, then pain. She hesitated, then walked over. Sophie whispered, You sure? Yes, I said. I need this. Emily stopped by my table, eyes red but steady. Ethan? Emily, I said calmly. She swallowed. You look good. So do you, I lied. She laughed weakly. You don't have to pretend. I'm not pretending, I said. You look exactly how you should. Her smile faltered. I deserve that, I nodded slowly. Probably more. She looked at Sophie, then back at me. I heard you're doing better. I am. With her? With myself, I said. She just reminded me that I still exist. Emily's eyes watered. I wanted to say I'm sorry. For what part? I asked quietly. The lying? The cheating? Or the pretending you still loved me when you didn't? All of it, she said, voice shaking. I lost everything, Ethan. My family, my job, him. Ryan? I asked. How poetic. The world took what I didn't have to. She blinked hard. You hate me. I shook my head. No, hate takes effort. You're not worth that anymore, she winced. You changed. I had to, I said. You saw what weakness cost me. I didn't mean to destroy you, she whispered. You didn't, I said. You just showed me who I really was. She wiped a tear. You were a good man. I still am, I said. Just not yours, her voice cracked. Do you ever think we could start over? No, I said. Starting over would mean forgetting. And I don't forget anymore. She bit her lip, trembling. I still love you. Then love the memory, I said. It's all you have left. Her tears fell freely now. Please, Ethan, say something kind before you go. I stood up slowly. All right. She looked up, hopeful. I'm sorry, I said. Her expression broke completely. For what? For who I used to be when I loved you, I said. He was blind in more ways than one. She tried to speak, but nothing came out. I turned to Sophie. Ready? Sophie nodded, her eyes soft with understanding. We walked toward the door. I could still feel Emily's gaze burning into my back. Ethan, she whispered behind me, barely audible. I'm sorry, I paused, hand on the door. So am I said, without turning around. The bell above the door chimed as we stepped out into the cold air. The sound felt like punctuation, the end of something heavy. Sophie slipped her arm through mine. You okay? I think so, I said. For the first time, I don't feel like I'm chasing ghosts. She smiled gently. That's progress. Or peace, I said. We walked down the quiet street, and for once, I didn't look back. The sunlight hits my face as I open the balcony door. Warm, soft, alive. For a second, I close my eyes just to remember what it used to feel like. To live in the dark. I still dream about it sometimes. The darkness. The silence. The weight of not knowing what surrounded me. But those dreams don't scare me anymore. They remind me who I was, the man who trusted blindly, who loved without seeing. Morning, Ethan, Sophie calls from behind me. Her voice carries that calm steadiness I've come to rely on. Morning, I say, turning to face her. She's holding 2 mugs of coffee. You still make it too strong, she laughs softly. And you still complain about it every morning. I don't complain, I say, taking the mug from her hand. I just observe. That's what people call complaining politely. I grin faintly. Observation is the only thing that kept me alive. She tilts her head. You mean back then? Yeah, I say, looking out at the street below. When I couldn't see, I had to listen. Every word, every sound, every breath told me more than sight ever could. Sophie leans on the railing beside me. And now that you can see again? Now I realize how much I missed and how much I wish I hadn't. She studies me for a second. You still think about them, don't you? I don't answer right away. The steam from my coffee drifts upward, curling into the morning air. Sometimes, I admit. Not because I miss them, but because I don't recognize who I was when they broke me. You were in love, she says gently. I was blind, I correct. Not in the eyes. In the heart, Sophie nods slowly. Love does that to people. Then maybe I don't want to love again. Don't say that, she says softly. Love didn't betray you. People did, I smile faintly. That's what makes it dangerous. You never know what kind of person love is wearing that day. Sophie sighs. You sound older than you are. I feel older, I say. Like I lived a lifetime in the dark, she turns to face me. But you didn't stay there. No, I say quietly. I crawled out, and I didn't do it alone. Her eyes soften. You mean me? Who else? I say, meeting her gaze.
You were the only one who talked to me like I was still a person.
You didn't pity me. You didn't need pity, she says. You needed truth. And you gave me that, I reply. Even when it hurt, Sophie smiles faintly. You think it's over now? The revenge? I ask. The pain? Both. I take a deep breath. The revenge ended the night I told them to leave. The pain. That ended the moment I stopped caring whether they apologized. She studies me for a moment. So what comes next? I look toward the horizon. Life, I guess. The kind where I wake up and don't feel like I'm still bleeding. Sophie chuckles. That's poetic. It's honest. She nudges me with her shoulder. You should write about it someday. I shake my head. No one wants to read about a man who got his sight back only to realize how ugly truth can be. I would, she says. Because it's not ugly. It's real. Real doesn't always mean beautiful, she shrugs. Maybe not. But it's worth seeing, I smile. That's something I didn't understand before. Sight isn't about eyes. It's about perception. Sophie sips her coffee. Go on, philosopher. When I was blind, I continue, I thought the world ended with what I couldn't see. But when I got my vision back, I realized how small my world used to be. I was surrounded by light but lived in shadows I refused to face. Like Emily, she says quietly. Yes, I say. And Ryan, but also me, Sophie looks at me. You're not the same man anymore. I hope not, I say. The old me wanted to be loved. The new me just wants to be understood, she smiles. Then maybe you're finally seeing clearly. I look at her, the morning light catching her hair. Maybe I am. We stand there in silence for a while. The city hums below, cars moving, people talking, life going on. It feels strange, like I'm part of it again. You ever think about going back to work? She asks. I already did, I say. Started sketching again last week. Her eyes widen. Really? Why didn't you tell me? Because I wanted to see if I still could, I say. Turns out I can. That's amazing, she says, smiling brightly. It felt like meeting an old friend, I admit. Except this time I didn't draw buildings. I drew faces. Faces? Yeah, I say. Not perfect ones. Just real ones. Lines, cracks, the things people hide. Sophie nods thoughtfully. You see more now than you ever did before, don't you? I laugh softly. Yeah. Funny how blindness taught me to see. She reaches out and places a hand on mine. I'm proud of you, Ethan. For what? For not letting darkness define you. I look at her hand, then at her. Maybe it did, I say quietly. Maybe it shaped the man I had to become. She smiles. Then the darkness did its job. I take a deep breath, feeling the sun warm my skin. The city glows. Everything feels new and strangely familiar. I used to think sight meant control, I say. That if I could just see, I could fix everything. But now I know better. What does it mean now? Sophie asks. It means understanding, I say. Seeing people for who they really are. Seeing myself without pretending. Sophie looks thoughtful. And what do you see when you look at yourself now? I pause. Someone who finally stopped chasing ghosts, she smiles softly. Then you're free. Maybe, I say. Freedom doesn't always come with wings. Sometimes it just comes with peace, she sets her empty mug down. You sound like a man ready to live again. Maybe I am, I say. I step away from the balcony, grab my jacket, and look toward the door. Sophie watches me curiously. Where are you going? She asks. Outside, I say. To see the world, she laughs. You've seen it before. Not like this, I reply. As I walk out into the sunlight, everything feels sharper. The warmth on my face, the sound of distant laughter, the pulse of life all around me. For a moment, I close my eyes again just to feel it fully. And then, under my breath, I whisper, "I was blind once, but not anymore."